Hey, it's Clay at claytrader.com. This will be a live trade video where I try to capture some of my trades as they play out live. Couple quick clarifications. Number one, I am trading futures. If you don't know what futures are, I'll put a link down below to a totally free 4-part series where I walk through the futures market, how it works. But futures are awesome. As a quick little thing to maybe you interested if you trade stocks or options and are struggling under that pattern day trading rule, very annoyed by it. There is zero pattern day trading rule within the world of futures, so you can day trade as much as you want every single day. Second, I am trading futures through a prop firm. What is a prop firm? How does a prop firm work? Which prop firm am I using? All that can be answered with that link you see up the top of the screen. I'll also put it down below in the description area. But in a nutshell, a prop firm is a way for you to be able to put very little of your money at risk and then have a whole lot of upside potential. So like I said, if you want to learn more, check out that link down below. So you can see a decent sized move right here happening. Potentially interested here. Trying to build a position. If I want to pull back a bit more, there we go. Okay, quick little scalp there. I'll start the process over right here. And started small. Wants to bounce. And that's why I started small, to give myself plenty of flexibility. That blue line is my average price. See if we can get this thing to a bit of a bounce here. Again, blue line is my average price. Off of it. That's funny. Come on. There we go. Very good. So now I'm up over $500. So that is the power of just giving yourself flexibility within a trade. If you watch past videos, and maybe even that first trade where it was for $35. Well, ooh, yeah. Well, this is all hindsight right now speaking. But yeah, sometimes if you go, full position size right from the get-go, you have zero flexibility. There's no wiggle room. There's nothing. But if you do there, you go in small. Yeah, if you're right immediately, you're not going to make a whole lot because you get in with small size and then it goes in your favor. You take the profit. And then like that first trade you saw was $35. But in those situations that you just saw right there, because I gave myself flexibility, I had plenty of wiggle room within the trade itself. And ultimately, threw over $500 in my pocket in a single trade. So always give and take, give and take. If you want to go all in, full position size from the get-go, and you are correct immediately, hey, you're going to make great money. You can't deny that. But as far as do you have any sort of flexibility within the trade itself, you don't. So it's kind of a, pick and choose type situation. All right, I will pause and we'll see if I can maybe try to build another position. All right, let's see if it wants to come down some more. At this point, I'm not gonna do anything until it can get down to about 740. That's still requiring quite a drop. Continues on down. In some senses, I want to short, but that just seems like a total FOMO chase, so I'm not going to short. All right, I'll pause. All right, looking for potentially buy down at the yellow line there if it wants to come down a bit more. Just kind of hovering right here, not really. Ah, there it was, and I hesitated. Beautiful bounce right off it. Ah. Beautiful, right off of it. All right, I'll pause. All right, looking to potentially picking up another position here. Make sure very little. So I want to make sure there's no 9:45 news. All right, I'll pause. All right, it's coming down. To just start small with flexibility. I want to start at that yellow line there, which is the VWAP. An order out there right now. Wants to come down there. I guess a slight little move below the line. Come down a little bit more now. All right, I'll pause. All right, I am now interested in potentially building a short position here. Well, assuming it wants to come up some more, but if this thing drops right back down, then never mind on that. Yep. All right, I'll pause. All right, maybe gonna be able to get first entry at that green line. Again, just starting small for flexibility. So if I'm right immediately, not going to make a whole lot. But if it wants to drop some more, then I'll be able to build like on the last one. But step one is it's got to first come down to that green line. All right, I'll pause. All right, looking to get short at that red line here. If it wants to come back down to that area. As of right now, looking like it wants to keep on pushing. Well, kind of come down. I want to move it up a little bit more right there. Got close to filling me at the red line. Again, short, meaning I would then want to see prices go down if you're a beginner. Yes, you can make money when prices go down. That is known as shorting or going short. If it goes up, that would be bad for me then. So let's see if it wants to come down here. Close again. Close. Not want to quite come down. I apologize if I don't get filled, but like I said, this is live. I'm doing this right now as I speak. This is not a voiceover, so I genuinely don't know if this will get filled or not. All right, going to cancel that order out. That's what I was looking for on that candle. All right, I will pause. All right, and now it's heading up. That's why you always want, well, not always, but in that situation, I'm glad I waited for confirmation, see if it wanted to show me enough weakness, and it never did, and now we're heading up even more. We'll look to try to pick some up at that level right there. Again, starting with small size. It needs to come up just a bit more. All right, I'll pause. Okay, once again, maybe gonna go up there and hit me. Close, close, close. Oh so close yet, oh so far away. Let me come up a little bit now. Coming up through, that's kind of where I wanted. Okay, in. Okay, there we go. Another little scalp. I'm not sure how much I made on that one, but I'm now up 632. Start the sequence over again if it wants to come up to around that area. All right, I'll pause. All right, gonna go ahead and get short there. So nice $425 on that one. That was a separate account. And the nice thing with prop firms is you can have multiple accounts. So I wanted to switch over and try to get this one in the game. And I did indeed get it into the game for $425 on that move. So very nice, very nice. That is one of the cool things about the prop firm is you can have multiple accounts with the ultimate goal being you can copy trade. So you can make one trade, but if you copy it to multiple accounts, then technically you're making that one trade. With the prop firm I'm using, you can do it with 5 accounts. So you can make, for example, just say you can make one trade and you make $100 on it. But if you copied it to your 4 other accounts, you made that one $100 trade 5 times. So in actuality, you just made $500. So, but very good. All right, I'll pause. All right, we are through, and I'm in. Looking for a continuation on this breakdown. And blue line is my average entry price. There we go. So 480 on that one, very nicely. I will pause. All right, well, I'm going to go ahead and call it good. So a little over 1,000 in this account, and then you saw that other trade, which was a little over $400 on that one. So all in all, good solid day, not bad. It's 10:03 a.m. Eastern, so I'm not going to complain about this within 33 minutes. Not sure of many places in the world where you can, have the opportunity at these sorts of numbers. So thanks for hanging out. But before I go, I want to personally invite you to get signed up for this free live online webinar that I'm offering. So if you're interested in learning more about the tools I'm using, how I use them to build consistency, manage risk, and then just most importantly, make sure you have the right framework that you are operating from. If you don't have the right framework and foundation, you're going to struggle. You're going to have a lot of headaches. And, that's just not a good good spot to start from. So let's make sure you don't have a false foundation from which you're building from. So I'll cover that and more here in this free class. So link is down below, or you can just go to claytrader.com/live to learn when the next live class is. So thanks for hanging out. As always, if you enjoy these, hit that like button. If you're not a subscriber yet, hit that subscribe button, and hope to see you back in another one. Like I said, comment down below. Take care. Thanks for watching.